We're going on vacation?
Ladies and gentlemen, the role of Becky, originally played by Lisa Goranson, then by Sarah Chalke, then by Lisa Goranson, will be played this evening by Sarah Chalke.
There's two of them?
These videos are not for children. If you are a children, then piss off.
Hey there, I'm Infuso. And you remember way back when everybody loved Roseanne? I mean the TV show, not the person. The show was about a dysfunctional family trying their best to make it by with a limited income and like a boatload of kids. You had the youngest child and only boy DJ, who was evil to say the least. He was very clearly the Megan of his time. You had the middle child and social outcast Arlene, who spent most of her time being a sarcastic bitch. This live-action Daria over here, and I kind of relate to her on a spiritual level. And then there was the Connor's oldest daughter, Becky. The quick-tempered overachiever who can sometimes be overprotective of her siblings, but also can be standoffish with her parents. And for the first 5 seasons of the show, the role of Becky Connor was played by Lisa Goranson, who I really hope I'm pronouncing her name right, because I've listened to several people do it, and it almost always sounds different, so I'm really taking a plunge in the dark with this one. She did a really good job with the character. But Lisa began attending college at the time, and her schedule started conflicting with the show's workdays. So she started appearing less and less on the show. She was pretty much only working on Roseanne part-time.
Part-time.
The show kinda wrote her off for when she wasn't around, with the in-universe reason being that her and Mark were away playing the 90s Romeo and Juliet. Eventually the scheduling became too much for both parties, and she shockingly left the role altogether mid-season. Which is when the part was taken over by Sarah Chalke. You know, a future Scrubs, Rick and Morty, and How I Met Your Mother fame. Amongst other things. She's just a talented person. Though what I really appreciate is that this was something the show didn't shy away from. They addressed the elephant in the room immediately. Actually, they kind of dragged a spotlight out and put it on this theoretical elephant.
That they replaced that Darren.
But it was a hit show. They knew they could get away with anything.
I like the second Darren much better.
This is weird.
To Sarah's credit, she did a really good job of following up her predecessor. I mean, in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like she made the role her own during her stint as the character. And there's a real natural energy with her and the rest of the cast. And I think that they really recreated some of the chemistry they had with the original Becky. She'd wind up playing the part for the remainder of the 6th, and all of the 7th season, before Lisa's schedule began to clear up and she was brought back into the role, which again, the show did comment on.
Here, Dad.
Where in the hell have you been? Seems like you've been gone for 3 years.
Where the hell have you been?
Why does everyone keep saying that to me?
Oh, I get it.
The series did at least bring Sarah back during this time period for a cameo appearance, where they continued to tip their hats to the fourth wall.
Trick or treat! This house is so warm and cozy. I love it.
Hey, it's like deja vu all over again.
Gee, I wish we had a daughter that sweet.
And you know what, that might have been a fitting end for her time on the show. Except it wasn't. You see, Lisa's schedule still wasn't entirely cleared up, so the two would casually switch on and off in the role for the 8th season. It would vary from episode to episode. You never knew who you were gonna get. They were literally interchangeable in this role. Sarah Chalke was the most overutilized understudy in all of sitcom history. She was basically only used if and when the original actress who played Becky was unavailable for shooting.
Did I hear right? We're going on vacation?
Ladies and gentlemen, the role of Becky, originally played by Lisa Goranson, then by Sarah Chalke, then by Lisa Goranson, will be played this evening by Sarah Chalke.
That sounds about right.
Disney World? I've always wanted to go there.
Aren't you glad that you're here this week?
The two actresses would actually appear together on the show, for an ending gag parodying the Patty Duke show, which is not something I necessarily know anything about. So, Lisa actually wouldn't return for the show's original final season. Real bold move there, letting you stand and close things out on your behalf. Who are you, Wesley Snipes? To be fair, it seemed like the show did want its audience to remember both actresses.
There's 2 of them!
As even when Sarah wasn't starring in certain episodes, she was included in the opening credits. The show actually originally ended with Sarah Chalke in the role, but when it was rebooted back in 2018, they brought back in Becky number 1, and Becky number 2 played a new character named Andrea. And her whole purpose and point in being in the show was so that the series could take the opportunity to cut a couple more jokes.
It is so great to finally meet you.
I mean, look at us. We could be the same person.
Oh my God, I mean, it is like looking in the mirror.
Look at us. 2 of a kind.
And look, I'm not saying I hate it, because I don't. I'm just stating that I see it. They've managed to get the 2 Beckys to canonically meet. And they're now sharing a screen together. Who thought they'd ever see that? I think overall, this is probably one of the better recasts in all of TV history. I can't honestly say that Sarah Chalke was any better than Lacey Goranson, but I also can't say that I think that she's any worse. I kinda think that they matched up pretty evenly. They served the same purpose in the show, they played the same part, but I think that they played it different enough that you can value each as their own separate portrayal. Does that make any sense? I get if it doesn't. It's also nice to see somebody be able to walk away from a show without any real-life conflict or behind-the-scenes drama that led to their departure. Because I think that we kind of hear about that all too often. I mean, not only did Lacey leave the show, but she was able to come back and forth as she pleased. The show left it played out for her anyway.
That's the end of it. I'm the Clown Prince of Crime, and that was the Prince of Personality, the Infuso. Or so he says. So if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too want to become a VTard, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the man on Twitter, because it's not stalking if it's on the internet after all. Join the fun by joining the Discord. If for some strange reason you want to show support, and I don't know why you would, and if you have $1 to spare, head over to the SIJW's Patreon, where you can request videos, get exclusive content, and early access to scheduled videos. Or head to his PayPal, where you can buy the shirts. Oh, aren't those lovely? And just remember, if you're not tuning in, you're missing out. Yeah.
Everyone wonders where creative people get their inspiration. Actually, I found it's all around you.
Hey, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why are you still here?